I need them cleaned. And Karen cleans them better than I do. And even then, I still can't see. So as long as it's like 5 inches in front of me, I can see it. Yeah, I like looking at my old games because I get to do a report and then I hang my head in shame. But if my games are like slow rated games where the games took, 3, 4, 5 hours or even longer, and if I won the games, and if the games were played 20 years ago, then the number's usually pretty high. If they're like Blitz and Bullet from today, then I play like 10 sometimes. Yeah, pretty harsh. Anyway, Karen's supposed to join me on the stream, but maybe she took a nap. I don't know. Yeah. She's in the other room setting up for her stream. She's going to stream after me if she's still okay. Yeah. Let's see. I have more viewers than David Packman. All right, I can't see the chat, but I can see the board. Hello from Iceland. Icelandic Noob. That's a good name. Icelandic Noob, I was in Iceland before you were born. It's true. I was there in April of 1990. Very nice. I really enjoyed it. I was there for about 11 days. Stayed at a guest house. I was playing in a chess tournament, obviously. And the only restaurant that I remember in Iceland, which doesn't make any sense, is Pizza Husid, which I guess in English is Pizza House. That place was good. I see her. Maybe it's in my imagination. Hey, can you clean them? You do better. And then can you tell me if that's normal or I had something wrong with me? Like, is that normal that they're that dirty or that's everybody's like that? That seems like a lot of dirty.
Does seem extra dirty.
Yeah. When I'm sitting here, they're like that. And then when I'm anywhere else that I check, they look sort of okay. Only when I sit in this chair, they look horrible like that. Yeah. Throughout the day tomorrow, I'll show them to look fine. Then here they'll look like that. Yeah, that's the way it is. Yeah. Right. So something happens between me walking from the car to here where it gets like that. See, that explains your temperature. Mm-hmm. See? You're walking from the car. Mm-hmm. Man, it's hot.
Yeah.
Not here, outside it's hot. Anyway, I can't see, so I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
This guy said he's an Icelandic noob. But I refuted that by saying I was in Iceland. You were born in 1980? What? Nobody on my stream is that old. You're banned and your children's children.
Hey, kangaroo.
Yeah. All right, what are the last 6 letters of every Icelandic woman's last name?
Last 6 letters?
Yep. Of every Icelandic woman's last name.
Darn. I'm trying to think of Bjork's last name.
Bjork has a last name? John Bedden subscribed. Hooray.
Oh, yeah. Daughter. That means like daughter, right?
Yeah, why are you reading the chat for the answer?
Well, I accidentally saw it.
Would you have gotten it?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember this coming up before.
It's funny when their last name is already long, because then it's like 30 letters.
Yeah.
There's like one good bridge player in Iceland, and she's a woman. There's no men who are any good. And I don't know if she still lives in Iceland. Probably not. But her name's long before the Dottir. So that's, can't remember that. Conversely, there's let's see, Sweden, is it Swedish, Danish, or...
Hey, Pet Serious.
Or Norwegian.
Deshaun. Or Deshaun.
I actually don't know if it's Swedish, Danish, or Norwegian. Very embarrassing. Anyway, there's a good bridge player, and his name is AA. Yeah. And then one of the A's has a circle over it, but not the other A. Yeah. What country is that guy from?
A circle.
Yeah. Like, you have an accent. His is a circle. That's the thing.
You mean the semicircle?
No. Oh. No, it's a circle.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, what country is that guy from? He's Swedish, I guess. I assume he's from the same country as Jacob Agard, because Agard is Aagard or Gard. Sweden. All right, he's Swedish then.
Hey,
he's a very good bridge player, but his name is AA. So obviously he's an alcoholic. He goes to AA. Uh-oh, now I can see. Finland? No, I don't think he's Finnish. Yeah, I don't think so. Swedish sounds right. Mm-hmm. I could look it up. And let's see here. Okay, so, and then bridge player AA. Yeah, there he is. He's Norwegian. So all you guys were wrong. Right? See? AA. They don't have the circle. I mean, I know he has a circle. Let's see. Oh, he's older than me. Somebody's older than me. He debuted on the Norwegian national team. He works for the Norwegian Post Office.
Hey, Dorothy Cat.
Not a professional player. What? Uh-oh. Reporting false score suspension. Uh-oh.
Hey, Danny.
Geir Helgema was ranked #1 in the world. Uh-oh. There's always a lot of cheating things in bridge, but I don't know about this one. All players were suspended, including AA. Man. To be fair, the reason they were cheating is he missed his AA meeting. Yeah. How come there's no A with the circle over it? Like, I know he has a circle. Yeah, terrible. All right, so he's Norwegian. That explains why Magnus is so good. Yeah.
Hey, Southern Chris.
You were wrong to ask the chat. That's true. Okay, I have to refresh the chat. Definitely not Finland. That's correct. Ben is live. I'm always live Thursday at 5, except I've missed the last 2 Thursdays. Okay, now I can refresh in case there's a train. No, there's no train. Boo. Okay, so I'm going to teach Karen. I'm going to show her games that I played. They're not related. I won. Then the most important part of this stream is to do the report and hope that I played well. That's the only thing that matters. And I made sure all the games were between 20 and 30 moves so we wouldn't die of boredom.
Oh, why would that matter?
I would. It was an 80-move game. I'd be like in here, and then you'd be like, all right, come on. Yeah, you're Karen. That's correct.
Master Yoda.
It was the name of the city. That's correct. If you live in that city, you have to make sure, the really long one that he mentioned, that you don't go to the Flocky Naki Nihilifications. All right. So I'm playing Peter Hardikse, and I couldn't pronounce his name because it was hard to say. And I'm going to ask you many questions throughout.
All right.
Okay, but it's, again, 20 to 30 moves.
Do my best.
Okay, so first of all, what's the name of this opening? And while you're thinking about it,
I mean, I know
this is a problem that lower-rated players have that higher-rated don't. Lower-rated players know the openings they play. The openings they don't play, maybe, but probably not. Higher-rated players know everything because you got to know everything, and then you don't do it. See? So, like, take, for example, some super GM who never plays, like, knight f3 on move 1. They always play e4, like Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fischer will play knight f3 on move 1.
I don't know
Okay,
this one.
but still, if an opening happened and it transposed or it was ready, he would know what it is. That doesn't matter. Okay, that's the Nimzo Indian.
Okay.
Okay, and the Nimzo Indian, and one trick you're going to do is, if black plays this or this or this,
Oh, yeah.
probably it's an Indian.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
And the king's Indian would be g6. The queen's Indian is when white plays here and then b6. Queen's Indian. Now, you don't want to play b6 here because I'm ready to play e4. So you don't want to do that. The Nimzo Indian is named after which grandmaster? Nimzovich, right. And his
So
most
having-
famous game was against whom?
Um,
Some bitch. All right.
hey, so how many different openings have Indian? in
Well, okay,
King's
some
Indian.
people would call this the Bogo Indian,
Yes,
named after,
Bogolovich?
close, Bogolyubov.
Oh, Bogolyubov.
Yeah, right.
I
So
remember,
so that's the Bogo Indian, see?
So
I wasn't-
Bogo Indian. I can't see that.
That's the Bogo Indian.
So that's
And
one
then this is the
Indian,
Queen's Indian.
Queen's Indian.
And then this is the King's Indian, unless you play D5, then it's the Grunfeld. But if you play D6, then it'll be a King's Indian.
Okay, and that's when they're going to Fianchetto.
Right. So you got Queen's Indian, King's Indian, Nimzo Indian, Bogo Indian. Those are the main Indians.
4 Indians.
Now, if you play D6, and the idea is you're going to play knight BD7 and then E5, and you don't play the King's Indian, like you go here, that's the old Indian.
Okay.
Yeah, and it even says so. Yeah, old Indian.
So
That's
that's
rare, more rare.
5 Indians.
At least, yeah. Okay, so I play now. When my opponent plays the Nimzo Indian, what do I usually play on move 4? And by usually, I mean 95% of the time. And by 95% of the time, I mean more than 95% of the time. Don't forget to donate, where it goes dun da da da. No, I forget that. Don't forget to do subs and bits so we can get a train going. If it goes dun da da da, that I don't get a train. I can't. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you usually play.
Okay, I usually play Queen C2.
Oh, see, I was going to say something different.
Right, such as?
Maybe E3 or
E3
knight.
was probably the most common
F3.
move. Knight F3 is common, right.
Okay.
Queen C2, very common also. Now notice the queen's not defending the pawn anymore. So he played C5, and I took it. Then he took back. And a trap, and by the way, taking back probably isn't the most common move. You could play Knight A6, you can castle, you can play Queen C7 like Boris Gelfand, although he's the only person who ever played that against me. Now the idea is if I pin his knight, which I did not do, and I've shown this on the stream a billion trillion times, that move loses as a tactical trick.
Okay, and I have a question too.
And then I have something I want to tell the audience, but yeah.
Well, because typically when you're lower rated like me, you're told to take towards the center.
Uh-huh.
And so you didn't.
Okay, you're confused about what taking towards the center is.
Okay.
Taking towards the center, I'm going to make up a position.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, here I can take towards the center,
Right.
or I can take away from the center. That's what that
Right.
means. It means when you have a choice. It doesn't mean you're just taking something. So here I can take away from the center or towards the center.
Right.
So that's what that means. It doesn't mean any legal capture is towards the center. It
No,
just
but
means if you have a choice.
But I'm saying if you go back,
Right.
because I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay. Here, I don't have two ways of capture, only one.
Right.
If I could take with the B pawn or the D pawn, I would take with the B pawn. I don't know. When you say take towards the center,
yeah.
that's if you have a choice of
see-
towards the center or
okay.
away. Yeah.
I know, I guess, but my point is because of that,
Right.
not wanting, because me being lower rated, I see what you're saying now. That's why I would go E3 or something like that, so that if they took, then I'm not.
That's correct. E3 is also a move. The problem with E3 is it blocks the bishop.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's too passive. The reason this is good is they played bishop here. If they take with the bishop, they're moving their bishop a lot.
Yeah. Okay, I see that.
All right. So bishop G5 is a bad move, but we didn't discuss why yet.
Bishop.
This
Okay,
move.
okay.
I didn't do that. I'm asking you why it's
Oh,
bad.
why it's bad?
Now, you guys always make fun of me because I accuse everybody of cheating. And then you guys are like, they're not cheating. You're just stupid. Okay. And then every 3 or 4 days, I get an email message from chess.com. We've taken action on your complaint and, show that guy. And I got one. They sent me one at a strange time. It's 5:17. They sent it to me about midnight last night. I haven't complained about anybody in a while. So I don't know who it is. But
Is it?
I get those a lot. And they don't say we've taken action. They say, you complained about somebody and we've taken action. Not that they did it on their own. So you guys are always wrong. All right, what?
Well, they might go Queen B6.
That's okay. That just threatens there. Then I
Right.
would stop
Okay.
it.
I can't really see any other issues.
All right, so they take on F2 check.
Yeah.
Then you take. Then they go knight G4 check. Then they win the bishop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you can't play bishop G5. You got to watch it when your pieces are on the 4th and 5th row and they're not protected. So I played knight F3. And then he did what you said. And the idea is when I play E3, now I can't get my bishop out. Wah.
Oh.
Okay. And then I showed a game on stream about a week ago where I was playing Dmitry Gurevich in the 2005 National Open in the last round where he did the same thing. And then I beat him mercilessly. Then I told some poker story and you guys were asleep or something. I don't know. All right.
Was that last 16?
100 sentences. Thanks, Helsinki Freund. Yeah. Where's Helsinki?
Isn't that in Finland?
That's correct. Yeah. And people who go to Helsinki on vacation, they come back really upset because it's horrible, right? And you know what they call that?
I don't know.
The Helsinki syndrome. That's a very complicated joke based on Die Hard. If you guys saw Die Hard and you remember every second of it, then you'll get that joke.
Hey, Rufus Blender.
Yeah. So, in
Is it really bad, or you're just making that up?
what?
Finland.
No, I mean, I'm probably.
No.
I mean all that up.
Oh, okay.
So, here's what happened in Die Hard. They interviewed the psychologist because there was a hostage situation, and they talked about the Stockholm syndrome, right? And then the reporter said, "Oh, you mean Stockholm?" And then he said like Finland or something, like the wrong country.
Yeah.
And the guy said,
Oh.
"No." And then the reporter like it was a funny scene. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. That is correct. Yeah. Would Knight A4 be a viable move instead of E3? See, then you fork that. See?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then after here, you resign.
No.
$10, Alt F4 Pro. Take away from the center. Yeah, so like in the game that I showed about 2 weeks ago, might have been a week ago, I don't know, against Ostermeyer, right? And everybody likes him. Everybody wants to be an Ostermeyer. And I did play F takes G and open, and Karen does that a lot. And then when I'm like, that's unusual, she says, what? Yeah. So often you play the London, and often your bishop is here, and often they take it. And you used to take with the F pawn a lot, which is away from the center. Then you were like, what about my rook? And then that guy who gave me $10 said, yeah, do that. So that's true. You do that sometimes.
I don't ever do that anymore.
Right, now after bishop takes F2 check, then the king moves away, then the queen moves away. Now, of course, there's E3 trapping the bishop, so this is too complicated. But the engine says white resigns, because if the king moves, queen D6 is check, and then the bishop can go safely, and knight G4 anyway, it doesn't matter. So knight A4 is not viable. Okay, so I played E3, but thanks for the question. D is German for the. Right, and no one who speaks German can be a bad man. It doesn't say die, Bart, die. It says die, Bart, D. Right? Yeah, Simpsons.
I know. I'm not a Simpsons person.
And when he said that, he was on parole,
Yeah.
and he was having a parole hearing to get on parole, like at the parole board. And he says, I would never hurt anybody, especially Bart Simpson. I said, why does it say die, Bart, die tattooed on your chest? He says, it doesn't say die, Bart, die. It says die, Bart, D. And the guy says, no one who speaks German can be a bad man. Parole granted. Yeah. All right.
Hey, CJ.
Now you like, Sideshow Bob. All right, for $1 trillion, which actor plays Sideshow Bob? And you've heard of the actor.
$1 trillion.
Sideshow Bob.
Oh,
Pretty famous actor.
I'm not gonna know.
Okay, but for
Give
$1
me a
million,
hint.
I'll give you a hint, but you'll get $1 million.
Okay.
Okay. His daughter plays a cartoon character that
Oh, I know who.
uh-oh, lost that $1 million.
It's gonna be what's his name? Grammer.
Right.
Kelsey
Grammer. You know, Summer Grammer. Spencer
Spencer
Grammer.
Grammer.
Summer's the name of the character. Spencer Grammer, Kelsey's daughter, has the same name as Spencer. So there you go. Now, occasionally, but not too often, on The Simpsons, Kelsey Grammer plays Sideshow Bob. His brother Niall showed up once from this other show. Also played.
John G. Bennett says everybody's a Simpsons person. They just don't know it.
That's correct. Hi, Karen. Thunder and lightning. I'm scared.
No.
Should be. Yeah. It's only 11:23 where CJ Gray is.
Yeah, we're doing well.
500 centidues. I love Spencer before you did. Rawr. Yay, 500 centidues from Rufus Blunder. I'll have to show CJ Gray that picture of me and Spencer when Spencer's like 2 months old.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love Spencer.
You?
That's what
All
CJ
right.
says.
Yeah, I know. Then you said it. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so the point of Queen B6 is now that I've played this, I can't get my bishop out. The queen's not good on B6 because black usually plays B6, bishop B7, since it's hard to get it out that way. Okay, but his name's hard, so he don't care. Yeah. It's good to find that guy because a hard man is good to find, right? All right. So he played queen. He retreated like a Frenchman. He's not French, though. Okay? If he was, probably there'd be like no E in his name or something. All right. Then I fianchetto my bishop. See? Everybody fianchettos their bishops. Okay. Now I played an unusual move, knight E4. Confusing the audience. I'm trying to do something tricky before he develops his pieces. It's not a great move. He developed. I retreated this, and then my bishop can go here. See, it looks good, right?
Mm-hmm.
He played bishop b7. I played bishop f3. And now he made a mistake. So basically any move is equal, but he did something. Okay, you don't do nothing. 499. Always mind the blind spot. Thanks, blind spot. Is that backgammon? Okay. By the way, today is the anniversary of Tigran Petrosian's death. He died in 1984. When I was in Moscow in 84, Petrosian was supposed to go to the chess club and give a lecture, but he got too sick. And he died of stomach cancer today. And I think I might have been in Moscow when he died, maybe. I'm not sure. I was there in August, but I think I left before he died. Yeah. And then tomorrow's my brother's birthday, and, like that. So he didn't show up, Petrosian. He was only 55 years old. He had a hearing problem his whole life, so he had a hearing aid. And then when he offered to draw, he would turn his hearing aid up. That way, if you accepted, he heard you. If you turned his hearing aid off, he didn't want to hear your draw offers. So, yeah. So when he turned his hearing aid on, that meant it's time to offer a draw. Seriously, during the game, that was a signal. Okay, so he should basically do anything that's boring, like trade knights or castle or rook c8, something boring. But he played d5, confusing the audience. Okay, that's not a good move. And the reason is his king's in the center and I've castled. So he's like, raw, I'm going to do stuff. Your pawn's pinned. Like if I take, I'll take this. Why would you play bishop here, bishop here, bishop here, which he did, d6, and then play d5? Come on, man. Play the hedgehog or don't play it. Don't be tricking me. Okay, so I, of course, captured. He recaptured with the knight. And I played rook a c1. Now, you're going to get an isolated pawn unless you play dc. So he played dc. Right? Okay. Now I played a tricky move that I'm guessing he missed. This is a Zwischenzug. And now they're going to say, the way you said Zwischenzug, I had no idea what you're talking about because I pretend I don't know, even though everybody else does. For the Germans out there who pretend they don't know what I'm saying. Okay. So what move can I play that doesn't take anything? I didn't take the bishop. I didn't take the pawn. I made another move that has another threat. How did I do that?
Let's see. Another move that has another threat without taking anything?
I didn't take anything. The engine says if I do take this way, I'm also better. Because a better endgame because his pawn's weak here. His king is here. Not much better, but a little. It's funny, the engine moves, like these moves, like the most obvious moves, those aren't the engine moves. They give other moves. What's the first piece you look at attacking when it's, to attack something? What's the biggest piece?
If I want to attack something?
In any position, yeah.
Well, I mean, the king or the queen.
Right. Can't attack the king unless I go there. Very suspicious.
Yeah.
How do you attack the queen?
Wait, don't do that.
I have to get the friend request out, otherwise that number's there.
Okay, but
Terrible.
I can't see any.
Yeah, but it'll go away.
Well, that doesn't seem like a good way to attack it.
Doesn't have to be good.
Oh, well, I mean, you can go bishop e5.
Right, that's what I did. That's a good move. That's the best move. Okay, so he has a problem. His queen's defending his bishop, you agree. It's also defending his pawn. And there's no other square that it does that. Can't play queen c6 because I take it. So if he moves his queen and doesn't take my bishop, like he moves here or something, then when I take this, I got like these forks happening, right? So he played the move the engine recommends. He took the bishop. That's the move you didn't like. Then I take the bishop. And now I'm threatening to take his rook. And then if I check him, that's not good for him. If he was castled, he'd be fine, but now it's not good. But you can't lose your rook.
Right.
So he moved his rook. I checked him. And whether you play knight d7 or king f8, you're going to be unhappy. The engine says knight d7 loses immediately. Because I play knight takes c4 attacking your queen, and your b pawn, and your pinned, and rook fd1, and Papa John's. And it says you're lost. It says you can't escape. So he played king f8, which obviously he doesn't want to play. He'd rather castle. And then I take this, and position looks completely normal, except his king's on f8. Like if he had castled, this would just be equal. But now obviously I'm better. Okay, he played queen b8, which is fine. I played queen b2, defending the e5 square and opening up my rook. That's a good move. He played knight g4, which is a terrible move, but it threatens checkmate. So he couldn't help himself. Okay, I saw checkmate, g3. And then he played a move you could never play. Never.
Played a move I could never play.
It's Karen's first time on my stream. She doesn't know my stream emotes, even though she made them. Never play.
Oh, f6.
Right. And obviously, he was trying to defend this more, and he wanted to play f6, king f7, rook out, Papa John's. Okay. f6 weakens which pawn?
The e-pawn.
Yeah, I wonder in the last move of the game, if I attacked that pawn, it was indefensible. Probably. Okay, so I play queen d4, attacking his knight, and attacking his b pawn. And this is a loose piece. That's why knight g4 is a bad move. Once I stop mate, I have a lot of moves that attack his knight. This is also loose because I'm attacking it and it's defended. So if I attack it again, and so f6 is just a blunder. And after this, he's lost. I'm threatening this and this. You can't defend both. He saved his knight. I took that, threatening knight d7 check. And now he made the unusual decision, although the engine says it doesn't matter, of sacking the exchange. Because my queen's on his rook, so his queen has to stay on his rook. And the only way to do that is like queen c7, which lines up with my rook. And he was like, I don't want to do that. So he just sacked the exchange, although it doesn't matter, actually. Okay, knight e5, f4. See how he's threatening here? So I played here, and now I defend it. Takes. He made a further mistake, h4. And this is something that we've talked about on the stream before. A lot of times when you're playing and your opponent plays h4, then you look at h4. Not you, although you, but a lot of people. Like, what do I do? Should I take? Should I let him take? Should I go g4? I don't care about h4. It's right there. Okay, now I'm attacking this, and he's defending it with his king. And I can attack them both with my rook. So rook c6 or rook c7, right? If I play rook c7, he has many ways to defend his bishop. Queen e8, queen f8, rook e8. If I play rook c6, he has no way to defend his pawn because he played f6, never play f6. Also, this pawn's hanging, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, that's right there. Yeah. Now, what does the engine say?
Almost +7.
Right, so he resigned here. Yeah. So the position looked pretty equal, but he missed the Zwischenzug that nobody can understand my pronunciation except every American can and chess player. With bishop e5, your favorite move, right? You were like bishop e5 all day. See, and the thing is, in this position, the center's totally closed, and all he has to do is castle at some point, like here. Or he could take on e4 and castle, play rook c8. But he was like, oh, let me open the center with my king there. And because of that, I got bishop c6 check-in, which could never happen if he castled. Okay, it's something low-rated players do. And then at the end, it's totally ridiculous. Right. All right, let's see what the Gawking Rabble says. Grandmaster Gowrie, you're not Gawking Rabble, you're Grandmaster. Sort of like I'm a Grandmaster. Deshaun Kit Kats, Grandmaster Gowrie. Your opponent sounds Hungarian. Yeah, in fact, he was Hungarian like Patrick Wolf. Yeah.
Hey, Grandmaster Gary.
All right, let's see how I played. I think I played like God when he has a gun. That's what I'm guessing. Run report. I'm guessing I played in the high 90s, 97,
Yeah.
and he played like 83. Gotta guess something.
You never looked before?
I never look at any of my games. I played these games before you were born.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Ralph.
So this game was played in 1991, before more than half of the people were born watching the stream. Who was born in 91? Should we ask CJ?
Spencer.
Right. That's right.
Hey, Neurononum.
Grandmaster Gallery says, what does gawk mean? I'm nervous to push this because it's going to say 80. I'm going to be embarrassed. 98.7, and he played 85.3. So inaccuracies, mistakes, blunders, missed win, 0. 7 book moves, 6 excellent, 16 best. That's pretty good. I think I cheated. In 1991. That
Yeah.
wasn't easy to do.
Kick him
Spencer wasn't born yet because Capelagron is in February. Spencer was born in June. So my wife at the time was pregnant with Spencer, but I was crushing this guy so we could pay for neonatal care on him. Something. All right. Deep blue in my pocket. I was 91. You were 91 years old in 91? Could you adjust the scene? I could not. It's very upsetting that half the file is missing. I'm not making any moves. They're like, oh my God. No, anything but that. All right, so that was that game.
Oh, don't we have a scene for
We
that?
do, but we're not. I'm not looking at the game. I'm just
I
doing
know.
a report. Yeah. Adjusting the scene would make it so they could see the whole H file when I'm not making any moves. That's doesn't seem relevant. Do you play the poker? Only on date night. Let's see. I was born looking for freedom before the wall was teared down. God damn. All right. Is it me or is Karen way out of Ben's league? Well, your name is Bacon Baloney, and I'm a vegan. So why would we listen to you? Right? Let's
Bacon.
see. How do I donate? No donating. All right. And you saw the message from chess.com saying I'm innocent.
No, I didn't see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you said ignore that. That's ridiculous.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it would have been nice to have an explanation.
Yeah, it was. It's just like we're dumb.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Nirvana agreed.
All right, I gotta look at it. Oh yeah, we're
Out
out
of
of focus.
No.
I gotta look. I gotta look.
Man, putting my hand up didn't do Vishwa nothing. Oh, it did. Okay.
I knew that there had.
It still didn't? Wow.
See,
I mean, I did all the hand stuff. Yeah, I did all the hand stuff. You can't read on the
said-
stream or we'll
I'm
get
not-
banned from
I'm
Twitch.
not dumb. I already said you before that I thought that was the.
Right. But I can't get this to be undisheveled.
Oh, well. I don't know. Go blurring.
All right, so what if I change the camera?
No, I wouldn't do that. I
Yeah.
would just put your hand there again.
I did it
can
like
get,
4 times.
I can get up and go do it.
Okay, we'll do that one, and then we'll do that one, and then fixed. All right, let's see if that fixed it. Yep, that
Yay.
looks good. Yeah. All right, well, thanks for watching. Oh, wait, there's 6 more games left. No.
Hey, Meatpacks.
No, you sure it's not? Okay, now this game is against a 1900 player, 2000 player at the U.S. Open in 1992 in Dearborn. Now, if you've seen the movie True Romance, one of the guys says, you know, I used to stay at the airport and watch the planes go by at an airport in Dearborn. There's no airport in Dearborn. Okay, so you're crazy. But Dearborn is a suburb of Detroit known for Arabic population. And that's if you want good food. And then that's where, what's her name? She's on the squad. She represents them in Congress.
I don't know. 4 of them.
Let's see. It's not her. It's not her. It's the third one. Yeah. Yeah. I thought Ilhan Omar was in Minnesota. It's not Omar? I thought Omar was in Minnesota. Am I wrong? I've been wrong before. Right. Not from Minnesota. The one from Michigan. Michigan's the state that won the battle to see who gets MI out of Michigan, Mississippi, Minnesota, except Missouri, etc. All right. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I'll name a state and you tell me they're like Michigan's MI. Okay, Minnesota.
MN.
Right. Missouri.
MO.
Right. Mississippi.
MI.
That's Michigan.
That's Michigan. I just said that. That one I don't know.
MS.
Oh yeah.
See, that's why Michigan wins. We won the MI.
They changed
We win.
Mississippi. I thought they changed that at some point.
Just like Alabama beat out Alaska. Alaska's a state? Yeah.
Years ago,
Yeah,
Alabama
Rashida.
was
Yeah, she represents.
ALA before they went to 2.
Rodriguez definitely had a song about Dearborn because Rodriguez is from Detroit. That's right. You know, what's his name? The guy who's famous in South Africa.
Sixto.
Yeah, Sixto Rodriguez. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Now, this guy's lower rated, and he played strategically very badly. But for a typical class player, you would be like, why? It seemed like he played okay to me. And then he'd be like, man, his position sucks. So we play King's Indian style. Okay. See the G6? All right. And then he could play Knight D4. That would be more like a modern, which is this is. And now he did something that you wouldn't do if you're playing a modern. If you play a modern, which he's doing, you play Bishop G4 here or C5. You don't just take this. You didn't play knight here to like take. Then you got 3 pieces out and you got 1. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, now he played knight E7. Now in a King's Indian, I would have my knight here and he would have his knight here. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Okay, let's say it's a normal King's Indian. It's the most normal of King's Indians. Now, if I play Bishop E3, it's a mistake to play Knight C6. Okay, if you castle, then Knight C6 is normal. The reason is, in this position, which I just showed you, with the knights not on the board and black hadn't castled yet, you can stop Knight G4 with Knight D2, and you're ready to play on the queen side because your bishop is here, and you shouldn't be able to do that. It should be Knight G4, and your bishop has to move away. So that's why Knight C6 isn't good, because now I can stop Knight G4. My bishop's just pretty here. I can play C5. I want to play C5 and play on the queen side, but I can't play Bishop E3 because you play Knight G4. Although you can play Bishop E3, but after Knight G4, you got to move your bishop away. But if you play the wrong move order, now, because of the move order he played and the variation he played, okay, this way.
I have a question.
Okay, he gets a really bad King's Indian because my bishop's already here. There is no Knight G4. I don't have to move my knight out of the way. In black's counterplay, which normally consists of F5, I can just play F3 and defend my center, and then I can continue on my merry way. And your question is?
You said something about castling. I don't know what that had to do with whether the knight.
Oh, I just said in the normal King's Indian, castling already occurred.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here it's different because he's making like 300 knight moves here. Okay, so now after Knight E7, because he wants to play F5 and doesn't want to play Knight F6, which would now I'm already ready to play C5. But you can see the engine says I'm virtually winning. Okay, so we have a King's Indian where I'm like 2 tempi ahead of a normal position, and he can't mate me because his knight's not here. So how's he going to mate me? When he trades pieces, that's advantageous to white because white doesn't want to get mated. So black's playing for mate, and white's playing for queenside play. And so trading pieces is great because then I don't get mated. Okay, he played F4, always retreat. And it's just like a King's Indian, but it's a really good one for white because white's bishop is here. My center's great. His knight's not here to checkmate me or play G4. And he's down a tempi because he played knight here, knight here, knight here to trade his piece. He put it in H. I go there. Now I'm attacking everything. Papa John's. He played B6, which is the engine move. I'll show you a funny variation. Let's say he plays a6. Okay. Now I take, threatening your knight, threatening your pawn, right? If you take this and we do this, I can skewer. If you take my pawn, I play knight c7, and your rook is trapped. So he played b6. That blocks my bishop and blocks. Okay. And I take. And I'm already winning because I have a winning attack on the queen's side. He's not mating me at all. So I want to double up on the bubble up, like rook c7, this rook to c1. So I play queen d2. Now I want to get my queen out of the way so my rooks can double on c file, but also queen b4 threatens this pawn. So I want my queen here. Bishop a6, and then I play knight c7. Now, bishop a6 is a terrible move that no high-rated player would consider. The reason is, with all of his pawns on dark squares, you agree, his white squares aren't well protected, except they are well protected because he has a bishop. So after here, if he trades his bishop for either one of my minor pieces, nothing protects the white squares. This is an important white square. I want to go here. You agree that would be good. So I play knight c7. I'm threatening his rook. I'm threatening his bishop. I'm threatening his bishop. I'm threatening here. This guy's rated about 2,000, but I'm already like +5 without winning material because his strategical understanding isn't very good. He's just like, I'll push pawns. I don't know. Papa John's. Okay, now he played bishop b7, which is a funny move. Okay. Now, a low-rated player says that's a knight, that's a rook, and then takes the rook. And also the engine takes the rook. But it's not a good move. My knight's better than his rook. So the engine's like, I don't know, maybe I won't take his rook. So I played rook c7, obviously threatening his bishop, and he went here. Now if he takes my knight's not there. So I took his rook. And then I doubled up on the bubble up. And you can see that white's completely winning up the exchange. I have the c file. His d6 pawn is weak. He has no attack. Okay, he tried to attack, but trying is the first step to failure. Then I attacked his pawn. He continued attacking. g3, queen takes e5 check. Now he resigned. My bishop can go here, and if he plays bishop g7, I can take his knight. So that game, it looks like he didn't do very well. But he is rated about 2,000, but he misunderstood the opening and middle game. And when you play knight d4 in King's Indian modern type setups, your goal is to keep your knight there and not to just, okay, I'll trade this. Now we're on move like 30, and I have all my pieces out, and he has one. That doesn't make any sense to go here, and then take. You got to play for tricks, not make it easy for me.
And what year was the game?
This is 1992, the U.S. Open in Dearborn. And I tied for second for $1 trillion. Who won that tournament?
You tied for second.
Yeah.
And it was in Dearborn?
Yeah. It was the U.S. Open.
Am I going to know the name?
No, you know the name, but there's a lot of GMs. But good luck.
1992.
I'll give you a hint. He moved to the U.S. in 1992. Good year for him.
Yeah, I'm not going to know.
Sam Shankland. Was Sam Shankland alive in 1992?
He moved to the U.S.
I guess he was alive. Yeah.
Maybe Fedorowicz?
Shanklin was like a baby. Fedorowicz played in the tournament.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Duluth?
Gregory Kaidanov.
Oh, I'm going to get that.
Yeah, Kaidanov. Of course I can cover that bet. In the U.S. Open, Djokovic in 1992? I mean, Djokovic was like 5. Maybe, might have been 4. All right, so I won. Now the most important part. This is the only part that matters. I don't really care about the report. I just want to see the complaining that they can only see half the H file when I'm not even moving. I'm just looking at the report.
Now, I saw that somebody I like got... Oh, he's back.
Guess who's back?
Somebody got timed out.
I didn't time anybody out.
I didn't see... Well, you got mine.
500 sentences. Very instructive. In what movie does the guy say very instructive? You recently saw it with me in the last 5 months.
I don't know.
Tombstone.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
They're watching the play,
Mm-hmm.
and then Val Kilmer says, very instructive. Yeah, it was instructive. Yeah. Very instructive.
You're innocent.
All right, I played 96.9, and he played 21, and his rated 2,000. I'd like to point out, if there's a money tournament online and somebody's rated 2,000, they play 99 every game. That's shocking. I don't know how they do it. However, when they're not cheating, I mean, when they're not playing online, then they play 20.
Thank you, Rufus Blunder.
I made 0 missed wins, 0 blunders, 0 mistakes, 0 inaccuracies.
Thank you, Ralph Wickham,
See, I showed that guy.
for that 100 centiges.
You'd think with 0 everywhere, I played better than 96.9, but I guess not. Yeah, I guess I play bad.
What are people saying? I saw somebody got timed out.
By the way, that game
Yeah.
was 24 moves.
Yeah.
He played 4 best moves. Man, the truth hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It still leaves about 2,000. Pretty good. All right, 90. Yeah, I'm still playing consistently.
Two guns for both of you.
Thanks, Ralph Wiggum. The more you donate, the more money we have. Have we had no trains? Right? No, we did have a train. I forgot. I think we didn't have a train
I don't
yet.
think there was a train.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
What? There wasn't?
I don't remember one.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, you guys are the worst. 100 centiges. There's the train. Meatpack's always starting the train. All right, now we can stop on level 1 as per usual. All right, new post. All right, next game. Next against Al Chow. Yeah, I like this game. This is one of my favorites. This was played in Chicago International 1994. 1994 was my year. I had a lot of good games in 94.
Yeah, Deshaun, when you delete a message, I think it times somebody out.
Go
doesn't it?
CL Smith.
Automatically. Or maybe you can make it not do that.
And the funny thing is, Rich, that's the greatest game you've ever played.
That could be right.
Never seen Feingold Gelfand. That's correct. You sell this shirt? We sell all the shirts. Yeah. You go to the merch store. GM No Chance Ever 100. Suad Bejtovic 100. Alan Buchanan 100.
Yay.
Man, if only it was dollars instead of cents.
Yay, all you guys.
Go to that merch store and buy all the shirts. Every shirt that I wear, that you can buy it. Even if we don't sell it, we'll still sell it.
I need to
When
have
I
more
was
merch.
in Moscow in 1984, I had a shirt on. It was red. I remember it was red, and it was ripped because I was 14. And this guy said, "How much for your shirt?" Because I was American. He wanted to buy Western clothes, and he gave me like the equivalent of like $70 for it. It was worth like $1.
Wow.
But he had money. He didn't
God.
care. Yeah, he's like, "I want that shirt." I was like, "All right."
Yay, thank
Yeah.
you, ATF.
Hope I don't get arrested
4
when I go to
Pro.
Moscow.
I'm out F4 Pro.
Alt F4 Pro. Mama Jara Feingold, never seen that. I don't show that often, Mama Jara Feingold. Feingold Gelfand, I show that a lot. Mama Jara Feingold, I've shown like 3 times. The other one I've shown 300 times. Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, Spencer was wanting us to go to karaoke later.
You can go to karaoke. I'm not going to stop you. Yeah.
Okay, that means you're not going.
Well, no, that's ridiculous. All right. Magnus or Naka, I'm married. Okay, so here's my game with Al Chow. Yeah, and then Fred called him Dog Chow because he was dogmatic.
Yeah.
Right, now, you know how when Yasser's on the internet and Yasser refers to people by their first and last name? He's like, in 1974, I played Anatoly Karpov. And I'm like, Anatoly Karpov, not the other one. When Chow talks to you, he calls you by your first and last name. So if you walked in and say, "Oh, hi, Karen Boyd. Hi, Ben Feingold," that's what he does. Yeah. So when he refers to you or talks to you, he uses both the names all the time. Yeah. Okay. Now,
Hey, Kappa. Sorry.
yeah. Chow said the funniest thing I've ever heard at a chess tournament. At the Chicago Open, where there's 1 million people in the room, his phone kept ringing. In the tournament room. This is years and years ago. You didn't get forfeited.
Yeah, before there were
Yeah.
phone rules.
And he would turn it. And then it rang more than once. And then the second time it rang, he said, "It's not my phone."
What?
And we were like, "What?" So here's what he meant. It was his girlfriend's phone, and he didn't know how to turn it off.
Oh.
So that's what he meant. Like, I don't know. I turn the phone off, but I can't. So when it rings, I do something. But in between the rings, he didn't know how to shut her phone off. So that's made a lot of sense. Maybe like take the phone and put it in the director's room instead of just having it ring every 5 minutes. But, man, we can't get past level 1. Terrible. It's not my phone. Okay, so I'm white. Got some Queen's Gambit action. Okay, so I've had this position before. I like to play Queen A4 check to confuse the audience. Okay, and then I took with the knight, also confusing the audience. 6 evil bits from Meepex. That helps.
Yay!
I like the thing too. I like that thing. And
That's a lot of bits.
Yeah. So my question is, why can't I take on E6? Oh, he would take on C3, and then he would. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So we have this isolated pawn position with a lot of trades. My knight's on D4 already. I played bishop to D2 because I want my bishop on this nice diagonal. And white's just a little bit better. Okay. I attacked his bishop. And the reason is I wanted my queen to go this way. And my queen was blocked by my... Okay. He played bishop D7, which is a bad move. Forcing my queen to a good square. Now his bishop's attack, so he moved it away. And I played here. Okay. Now he had a very poor plan here. This position's better for white, obviously. He has an isolated pawn, and my pieces are all perfect. Now, in this position, as any one of my emotes will tell you, okay, I want to play knight F5. However, if I ever do play knight F5, then his bishop could take it. Okay? So that would be a good bishop to keep, because then I can't play knight F5. Now, of course, he doesn't see that I can play knight F5 because I can't play it right now, and that would be thinking ahead, and that's not a strong suit. So he made it very easy for me. Instead of playing like rook e8 on the open file, or getting some space on the queen's side, or this open file, he played queen b6. I castled, then he played bishop b5, which is like 3 question marks, that move. Okay, and I'm actually winning, even though it looks like a boring position, because he undefended this with tempo. So now when I trade bishops, knight d4 attacks his queen, and then knight f5, and I'm winning. Like queen g5, and my bishop, my knight, and my queen are just crushing him. And bishop e5 is a very poor move for somebody who's like 2400 USCF, because this is just easily winning now. Okay, but now I have some more questions. All right, so here it says I'm +3, even though material's equal. Mm-hmm. Okay, he played bishop, knight to e8. Doesn't matter what he plays. I play queen g4. So now I'm threatening knight h6 check, and then I take his queen. Puzzle rush. Mm-hmm. If you don't like that, this move is also completely winning. Threatening knight h6 mate, among other things. So he played queen e6. So I can't play knight takes g7 because he takes my queen. And his idea is if I play bishop g7, which I did, looks good. Mm-hmm. Okay, now he plays the paradoxical h5, confusing the audience. See, this is defending this, and this is defending this, and he's attacking my queen. And if I move my queen, like queen takes pawn, then he could take my bishop. Mm-hmm. Okay, so white has a move that's incredibly winning here, and then I have a move where I'm like slightly better, and then, so like try to find the completely winning move for white. This is your first task. And then I'll turn off this in case you accidentally look at it. Hype train on level 5. Go hype train. Nothing's happened since the 666 6666 evil bits. Go Meepex. Maybe somebody could give 2222. Getting us to the end of level 5. 500 centidues. Catch up, just like in Pulp Fiction. Complicated.
Yeah, because I mean, I was thinking to move the knight, but I wasn't sure which way. I'm not even sure if that's correct.
Yay, 50 centidues. I'll take it. Cheeky Cheetah says bishop h6, which hangs the queen. Then the truth would hurt.
Yeah.
Yay, level 5 because of the 6666. You're the best. Go, Meepex. Queen can't take h6. What? Always go king h1. If you play bishop f8, your queen's hanging. A lot of the moves you guys are suggesting allow pawn takes queen. Mm-hmm. So don't allow that. Then you'll not be down a queen. So be careful. Yeah, that was good, Meepex. Bishop f1, interesting. All right, what do you think? What are your options?
I'm not sure. I mean, I was looking. What if the queen just takes the pawn?
If you take the pawn, then you lose your bishop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because the queen's defending the bishop. That was he's trying to trick me. Mm-hmm. See, my queen's defending this. My queen's defending this.
Yeah, I mean, you could say knight takes e7 check.
That's correct. Knight e7 is correct. He takes it, and now there's two winning moves. And one move is more winning than the other, but they're both winning a lot. So you can take what? This?
No.
This?
Yeah.
Right, that's what I did.
Okay.
A lot of the chat plays bishop here check because they want to go takes this, and then win the rook. I agree, that wins. Mm-hmm. I took the rook check because if he takes my queen and I take his queen, I'm up a rook. Mm-hmm. So he has to play king takes bishop.
Right.
Now I win more material, and my king is safer, so I want the queens on. They don't want the queens on because they're taught when you're up material, you trade all the pieces. But obviously, my king's a lot safer than his, and I want another pawn. If I had played the way they wanted me to play,
nobody
some of
wants
them.
to trade your queen on.
Oh yeah. A lot of people said this in the chat. Yeah. Well, they didn't see bishop f8. Now this is also completely winning, but he has the pawn, and I can't mate him. Okay, so this is the game. Rook a d1, rook d4. I don't want to take and give him like an advanced pawn, so b3. And then he resigned here. And I'm plus a lot. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see how I played. Yeah, his queen b6, bishop d7, bishop b5. Really bad giving me knight here. By the way, in a lot of open Sicilians, this is an idea that you can play after, if your knight's on b3 in an open Sicilian, sometimes the e-pawn goes away from e6 and you play knight d4 to f5. That's one of the ideas. It's weird because you play knight here, knight here, knight here, then you put your knight back on f5, which you see in an open Sicilian a lot, but not in a queen's, Usually if my knight's here, I want to go here. But I couldn't do that, so I went here. Then when he traded his bishop, I was like, oh, okay, good square. Then he's just completely lost. Truth hurts. All right, let's see if I played in the high 90s again. Still no lift. No. Me on YouTube in the future. Go YouTube in the future. All right, almost 300 viewers, but not quite. Only 5,200 less than Hikaru. Go, Ben. This guy won the 1994. I did tie for first the 1994 with this guy. That's right. I was one of the guys who tied with him. 98.5, 91.
That's pretty good. Both of you.
I made it an accuracy, but I played a higher level than the other game. Well, what? Because, I don't know. I don't know how that works. 17 best, 4 excellent. 1 inaccuracy. He made 3 inaccuracies and 1 mistake. Mm-hmm. Bishop b5, I assume, was his mistake. All right, 98.5. Still playing good chess until the next game. All right, Karen's too bored from the lesson, so she's out.
No, I'm just reading that email that I didn't get to read.
I'm just teasing.
From the chess.com people.
All right.
I'm probably,
people
not going to stream after you, just because I'm tired.
But I already put you were streaming.
Well,
Yeah.
you put that out. I'm not streaming.
No, I can't. I'll put the.
I might go to karaoke.
Before
We'll have
it's
to see.
open.
I need some coffee.
Before it's open.
When do they open?
No, it's 6 o'clock. They're not
Let me
open.
see.
I mean, they're open to eat, but not to
well,
play
you're
karaoke.
streaming until at least 7.
At most 7, right?
And then if I streamed 2 hours, then I'll be. Yeah, it actually is possible I could stream.
All right, so I'm white here. This is in Chicago, and this was the last round, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 1994, April 24th. Yeah. Now, let me tell you the story of this game, and you'll never stop laughing. None of you, them. This was a 9-round tournament, okay? And my opponent missed the first 5 rounds. Then he won round 6, 7, 8, and I played him. So he had perfect score. He won all his games. Yeah, he didn't do good against me. Okay, so I'm white.
He didn't mean to miss all the rounds?
I don't know.
Oh.
Okay, so it's a King's Indian, and he decided to play a gambit, B5, confusing the audience. That's not a good move. It's a Benko gambit, but I mean, he's like a tempo down basically because I didn't have to play E3 and E4. All right. Now I played a move that you wouldn't play, but it's typical Benko gambit. See how the bishop is on this and how this is pinned? So I play rook A3. Now the bishop's not on that, and if he takes, I could take with a pawn. And if he takes my rook, I'll take with a pawn. I have 2 passed pawns.
Now, what's the point of the Benko gambit?
Oh, good question. Black gets good counterplay on the queen's side, but not in the variation he played. He played a delayed Benko gambit where I'm already got the center, and so it's double edged. You get open files on the queen's side. You get some squares, but it's the way he played it doesn't make any sense. Okay, he played bishop b7, which also doesn't make a lot of sense. Queen b3. Yeah, I'm up a pawn. Queen b4. Now, if I trade queens, he takes back and forks my rook and knight. See? Okay. If I don't do anything, he takes my pawn. That's why his queen's here. However, his queen's getting sort of trapped.
Yeah.
Okay, so I played the only good move. This move is winning strategically, but any other move and he's doing okay. So how would you save this pawn?
Let's see. I guess you could go bishop d3.
Bishop d3 is possible. After bishop d3, which I did not do, shockingly, are you ready to be shocked? I don't think you're ready. He takes it. Okay, if I take with the bishop, I said if. Okay, then he takes this, and then my bishop's hanging. If I take the queen, he takes and forks my pieces. So it looks like this move is good, right? Then he takes this, attacking my rook. If my rook moves away, where does it move away to? Man, it's getting trapped over here, right? And the rook's trapped. Shocking. Okay, now I actually don't like his queen here. I want to go take that queen. I don't want him to play queen takes queen, so I just play queen c2. I defend my pawn, and now his queen's in trouble. So that was the best move. He played e6. Yeah, and now I was really proud of myself after the game, and I'm really proud of myself now because the engine says it's the best move. Yeah, this move's really good. Now, if I want to move my knight with a discovered attack on his queen, then I undefend my e-pawn, right? Okay. So I defended my e-pawn and I made an attack. I doubled up on the bubble up. So it's an unusual move, but he just played here. So I attacked that and I defended that. I played knight g5. Now, if I move my knight, he can't play that. Also, I could start taking things here. Now it says he's incredibly lost. Like I'm +3, +4, +5. He played knight takes d5, a piece sacrifice. So if I take, which is fine, and then he takes, my king's in the center, he has all these pawns. But I just played rook b3 and said, get out of there. Get out of there. And he did get out of there, and then I took his piece. That way his queen can't come over here and annoy me later when it was there. That's stuck over there. Okay, and I took on d5, attacking his queen. He checked. I stopped the check with that rook, which is pretty cool. I used that rook on the third rank. Okay, then he retreated, always retreat. I played queen b3, which is also the best move. Queen b3, he can't take my knight because rook takes rook check. Also wins his queen. If he takes my rook, bishop takes, defends my knight. So it's being like, oh no, my knight's attacked. I'm actually, I'm scaring him. Okay, so he's down a piece and I'm attacking him. He developed his last piece. I sacked my knight because you can see I'm going to have a big discovered attack there. If he takes, the engine actually takes. And it says I'm up like 10 here. It says knight c7 check wins, taking this wins, knight here check wins. It says everything wins. But he didn't do that. He took on d5. I took. He took. I took. He attacked my queen. I took his queen. He took my queen. Notice how my knight's hanging, but I play bishop c4. And I'm up a piece. I'm going to take that. I'm going to queen. The engine says numbers you've never seen before, right? Plus 12, plus 13. So his tactical tricks didn't work because I was good at tactics in 94. Now I don't even know what happened that game. And then he resigned. Right. So your question was actually pretty apropos. Like, why do you play the Benko Gambit? You don't play the Benko Gambit here. I've already got my knight here and I got my center. The Benko Gambit, if played properly, okay, then you play b5 here when white's got nothing. Then you play a6 and you're trying to get counterplay against here. You're trying to get open files. When he played it, I'm already like all developed at the center. So that's why nobody plays it the way he did. And then he was crushed. So that guy won all his games until he played me. I showed him. I beat DeFermi in that tournament. And the only game I lost was to Tony Miles in like 82 moves in a rook ending. Sad. I think Tony Miles won the tournament.
Yeah.
I had a good tournament because I beat DeFermian and I beat some, like Rufus and Doofus. All right, let's see how well I played. The only thing that matters. 98.4, and he played 55.7. I made a mistake. What? Rawr, I'm mad. But 98.4 is good because I was sharp. Tactics.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad Tony did well in the tournament.
Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah. So I used to play good, and then I didn't. D4 is a book move. Who knew? That is correct. But the B pawn. Yeah, I like that rook A3. I play rook A3 a lot in the Benko Gambit. All right. Now here you got here. This is good at the end of the game. You're gonna like the end of the game. So don't look, but you're gonna like it.
Don't look right now.
Yeah, don't ever look. All right. Don't ever look at the moves.
I'm trying to look at the board sometimes.
Okay, so this guy's like 2,100 on a good day, but it wasn't a good day. Maybe he's 2,000. This was in Michigan in, like the early 2000s. I don't know. Let's see. 2003. Yeah. Okay, I'm white. And he likes to play the old Indian Philidor. This is the old Indian we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, E4 is the main move. I like to play bishop G5, E3. I've played E4, but this is what I like to play. Okay. So most people here would play rook E8 or H6, queen C7. He played knight E8, trading off the dark squared bishops. That's fine. Now, the King's Indian, Old Indian looks similar, and it's a similar play. Black plays on the king's side, white plays on the queen's side. So I played B4, that's the queen's side. Okay, he played E4, I saw my knight was attacked, and he played F5. So we're doing what we're supposed to do. I'm on the queen's side, but on the king's side. Okay, B5, G5, see I told you. Okay, I took, he took, My rook on a1's no good, so I put it on the open file. That's better. Knight df6, queen a4 threatening his pawn. He saw it. Then you can't look at the next move because I'm not allowed to play it. But this is in 2003, so I was allowed to play it. What move would that be? Can't play it now.
F3.
Right. F3, attacking his pawn 6 ways from Sunday. Okay, he has to take it. And I take with the bishop. Now I'm threatening this pawn again. He defends it. I play g3, so my bishop can drop back in case he plays g4. Knight g7. Knight b3, I want to play knight a5 or queen a5 and attack on the queen side. He attacked my pawn, but I saw it. I wanted to trade queens because then the c pawn's really weak. And that happened. And if a guy's mating you and you're winning on the queen's side, you generally want to trade queens. Then they don't mate you. Okay. Now you see how the pawn's attacked. Mm-hmm. So he played rook c8. I played e4. We traded in the center. And now I did something I learned about 32 years ago from the game Kasparov-Lubojevic from Brussels. I think it was Brussels. They did a trade in the center, and Kasparov takes with the bishop instead of the knight. I think he took with the knight. The reason is you want to have a knight here. If I play knight takes, he'll take with the knight. If I play bishop takes, I'm threatening his knight. And if he takes, which he didn't, now he's got 2 pawns hanging. So it's counterintuitive to take with the bishop, but it's actually correct here. Even the engine says it's correct. Now, he didn't want to take my bishop because when I take, I'm threatening 2 pawns. He doesn't want me to take his knight. So the engine's like, you have to go here, some silly move. Okay? Now, he played a move that you got to be careful when you play this move. He wasn't careful. He played a losing move here. Here, I'm slightly better. He blundered. Okay? He defended his knight with king f7, pinning his own knight. Okay, frankly terrible. And now I have a forced win. Okay, I sack the exchange, obviously, because he only has 1 legal move. I can analyze that. Mm-hmm. These moves aren't legal. I took a piece, so he has to take my rook. Okay, now I check him. If he plays knight here or bishop there, I play g4. You agree. Mm-hmm. So it would be funny, though, to pin your knight and then to walk into a pin again. That'd be funny. Just show no, you know. So he played king e6, which is a blunder. And now white's a play and win. Why rook be1 instead of rook fe1? Well, my rook's on the half open file on f1, so I like that. How am I supposed to sack my rook on f6 if I play rook fe1? Terrible.
Let's see.
Some guy in the chat's really excited, so don't look at the chat. He's a little too excited.
What do you mean?
A lot of exclams and a lot of caps. That's what. He's happy he found the right answer. Anyway, his king's really safe there because it has a lot of squares to go to, except for one thing.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
King to I9. That's close. More exclams. Puzzle rush.
I'm not real sure, but it seems like you should maybe move the pawns and check the king. I'm not sure. I can't really see a mate.
That's because you didn't put enough exclamation marks. Pam loves us, or she lobes us. I don't know. She's in lobe with us. This is a satisfying game. I was satisfied. Yeah. So if you play...
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, I really can't calculate too far.
If you play d5, the king goes up to e5, right? The king can move up.
Right.
So I played d5 without playing d5. That way my pawn still stops him from going there because it's still there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
D5 is check,
Right.
but it gives away the E5 square.
I know.
So play D5 check and don't give away the E5 square. There's another thing you can put on D5 that's check.
The bishop.
Hmm.
Oh, I was looking at something different.
He doesn't have a lot of legal moves. What does he do?
We have to take with the pawn.
Right. Do it again. D5 check. What move?
Well, you can take with the pawn. C takes D.
Mate.
Oh.
Yeah. Because my pawn's still there, so he can't move his king up. You're still surprised it's mate. You're like, wait a minute here. How could that be mate? Yeah. That's why all the exclams and caps. Bishop D5, 5 exclams, all caps, raw. Right. He didn't see bishop D5. He saw D5. His king could go to E5 at some point. But bishop D5, that's it.
Yeah, my move was bad because I was going to lose her knight.
Aw. You were going to play here.
No.
Aw. You were going to play here?
I just can't calculate very well. No. I was going to D5 check.
Yeah.
And pawn takes.
Yeah.
And then pawn takes. Then he was there. And then what I had in mind was knight C4 check. But since
you can
everything, I know.
Right. It's all different now, right?
I can't visualize it.
Right.
very
Right,
well.
but that's fine. That's why I ask you questions like this, where it's like one move or two. I'm not asking like 4 moves. I'm not doing that.
Sometimes I can
I'm a
visualize
mean
a
guy.
few.
Yeah, but that's easy, right? That was just
I
two
looked
moves.
at that in my head too, but I just couldn't quite see.
That's
see
good,
that
mate,
was
right?
mate, yeah.
And then he resigned after bishop d5. Terrible. Instead of like letting me mate him. They always do that. But yeah, I mean, king f7. Are you kidding me? King f7. What? You can't do that. That's walking into a pin. Are you kidding? Yeah. Now, somebody suggested the h-pawn was hanging, right?
Yeah.
Because the knight's pinned. Do you see what I'm saying? But then if he takes this and I take back, then
Yeah.
So he might have been in a different position, maybe. All right, let's see how I played. And then delete.
Neurononum says, did you see all the way to mate when he sacked the exchange?
All the way to mate. What was it, like 2 moves later? Yeah, it was like 2 moves later. It wasn't a lot later. No, I knew he had to block on f5 where I made him, and then he didn't block on f5. But that wasn't a lot to
Hey, Jen 999.
Who? Mate was better. Yeah, it is terrible when they resign before mate. I agree. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with reliving the glory days.
Yeah, Magnus was surprised when he got mated. He's like, oh, it's mate.
Yeah.
So he was going to resign against another move, but then he got mated. And then they said, how come you didn't see the guy had mate and won? And he said, I'm the greatest player ever.
That's
and then,
me.
And you guys were like, yeah.
All of a sudden, I get mated. I'm like, what?
How'd I play? 95.5, and he played 88. But see, all the zeros there. That's good, right? No inaccuracies. I made no inaccuracies, no mistakes, no blunders. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play good when my opponent was low rated and I was younger. Magnus is the worst. Magnus versus Nakamura. That's correct. 69.9. 999. All right, this game won Game of the Week in the U.S. Chess League. And this is very funny.
Wait.
Yeah.
So who do you think's going to win?
You mean tomorrow or the whole match,
Just
everything?
tomorrow.
Well,
Just
you always think Magnus is going to win. Then you're usually doing good. Usually you're right.
No, I'm not upset with you, Pam. Hey, if it were my stream, I'd stop and say hello to everybody. But Ben doesn't do that, and he's trying to teach me. So if I interrupt him every 2 seconds to say hey, he gets annoyed. But I'm definitely not mad at you. Hello.
Yeah. Now this is funny. I prepared for him, and I missed like all of his games. I made a bad database search or something. So he played a line that he plays all the time, and I made a video about it saying he doesn't play this. So I played this side line because he wouldn't know it. I said he usually plays the King's Indian, and then he responded. He's like, "What are you talking about?" Then I went and I looked, and he plays this all the time. I just missed. So I prepared for him, and I was sure he's going to play the King's Indian. When he played the Nimzo Indian, I'm like, okay, he doesn't know the Nimzo Indian, so I'll play some sideline.
That's funny.
Okay, so in this position, I usually play G3. That's okay. If I play Bishop D2 occasionally, and you get this position, in this position, Black should play Knight E4, and then it's about equal. But people who don't know this position often play B6 to play Bishop B7. And it looks sort of like an innocuous position, like we're just developing and castling. But now you play this super aggressive Knight G5, threatening Bishop takes F6 and Queen H7 mate. And I might add, he did not know this line. So even though he plays the Dimzo Indian, he didn't know this. I've played this a few times. Right, now you already have a big threat. So he played G6, which you don't want to do when the guy's doing that. You don't want to, Okay, and then B4, he can't play Knight E4.
Is he a GM?
Yes, and you can't play Knight E4 because my knight's here. You always want to play Knight E4. That's the other reason to play Knight G5. So obviously this looks sort of stupid. Like that doesn't look good. So he played H6, and we trade knights, take. And now I got this, this action here. So I play Queen D3, threatening Queen D4. Okay, he played Bishop B7. He's like, whatever. And I said, okay, Queen D4. How do you save your knight? Can't move your knight because I mate you 6 ways from Sunday. So what did he do? Can't move your knight. Can't let me take your knight. Got to defend it. You got one move that defends it, right? Right. And I got 2 ways to attack his knight, one for each of them. I got this, and then I play H4, and now that's a threat. You agree? Okay. So he took on C5, attacking my queen. I'm still threatening this. He played G4. I played rook to D1, getting my rook active into the game. He played D5, and I went back here because I want to do that again. Right? What would... 1 second. What would Steely Dan say about that move? I had to make sure it was the right group. I almost said the Doobie Brothers.
Wait, no, about the...
Yeah, because let me show you what I did.
Okay.
I went Queen C5.
Yeah.
And then I went here. So what was I doing? According to Steely Dan. Okay, Mepex gets it. Stuck in the middle with Ben. Wrong group.
That's the wrong group.
Terrible. That's Steeler's wheel.
I can't see. Let's see. Hey 19. What are some Steely Dan songs? No Static
you
at
have to know what I did.
You moved to D4.
No, I went here, then I went here, then I went here.
You came back.
You go back, Jack. Do it again. He wrote it. He wrote "Go back, Jack. Do it again." So,
I was thinking. All right.
All right. Now hold on. I'm not done. Now watch what I want to do. I want to play H5, H6 resigns. So he played Rook H8. He's like, not on my watch, and I played H5 anyway because I want to open this up. He played Rook H6, defending, stopping H6. Now I play Queen E5, a creeping move, because
I don't know.
I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell's that queen doing there? So I play queen here. I want to play Queen G5, and I want to pin his knight some more, because pawn some more. Rook C8, E3 defending my pawn, so he can't take with a rook. Rook H4. I want to take this pawn because his knight's perpetually pinned. Okay? And I want to play rook takes, rook F4. Okay. He played bishop C6. I did take. He played bishop A4 attacking my rook. I ignored it. Rook F4. God damn. Pretty good attack, right? Okay. He played takes, so his rook defends. And now I play Queen G5 check. I'm sorry, I played rook takes F6. If he takes, here he resigned. If he takes with the rook, I check and his rook's pinned. So his king's going to move and I'll play bishop takes rook. If he takes with the queen, I play Queen G5 check because that's pretty. Queen G3 check, not pretty. Doesn't matter. This is pretty, so I got to play that. See how it's pinned? Yeah. So after rook takes, he resigned. And this one game of the week in the U.S. Chess League. So our team, St. Louis, beat his Baltimore team. Yeah. And then, I played really well that game. And then I'm like, hey, he didn't know the opening. I'm like, that's all the opening I play. And I was like, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, he was going to Baltimore County, UMBC.
How did you not know that was his?
Because I prepared
Okay.
for him, and all the games I had were Kings Indians. I messed up.
Oh,
I didn't do the search right.
I see.
Yeah. All right, let's see how well I played. I won game of the week, so I better have played well.
He's a
That one, what's that?
he says he's also a chess streamer now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's right. I won
Yeah.
17th or 18th best game of the year for that in the U.S. Chess League that year.
Cool. I didn't know he was a streamer.
Yeah. I think he makes YouTube videos. I don't know if he does streaming, but he does YouTube
Twitch.
videos.
Oh, okay.
He might stream on Twitch. They know more than I do. You
What?
like that game? Me too.
Why do you guys want a Popeye sandwich?
Somebody wants it. I played 98.3. He played 91.8. Two inaccuracies. What? Terrible.
I haven't eaten at Popeyes in a million years.
Terrible. 98.3. That's the worst I've ever played. All right.
Yay,
Still good
GG.
though. Still good. All right, last game with Tatev. This was all my secret illegal preparation.
And hang on one second.
Yeah,
Who makes these T-shirts? You talking about the one like what Ben has on?
we do. We
Randomness?
do. It's Stonecutters.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what he's talking about. Well, we had some guy design some of the shirts, and then I designed some of the shirts, the easier ones, but I didn't design that one.
Is Popeyes the best pizza chain in the U.S.? It is in the U.K. Say no to drugs. Popeyes isn't a pizza chain. All right, we need 150 subscribers. Yeah, Popeyes. Confusing Popeyes with Papa
Oh,
John's?
that's what he meant. Hey, Dr. Chester X, Thadasaurus. It's worse than Kentucky. All right, I'm ready. I just wanted to read a little chat.
What? All right, so now, whenever I play Tatev, and I've played her 3 times, I trick her in the opening, and I'm 3-0.
Yeah.
This was my best trick. 299. Thanks, Fanjari.
Yay.
Hello to Denmark, Max. The second time you said it.
Hey,
Do
Max.
you think he was born April of 91, or it's a coincidence?
Probably.
No.
Spencer's age.
Okay, now, Nimzo Indian, right? Okay. Now, in this position, I just showed you a game where I played knight f3. I used to play bishop g5. Occasionally, I play e4. So I played e4, and I had secret illegal preparation for this game. Okay, and after d5, that's the main move. Okay. In this position, everybody plays bishop to d3 or takes on d5 or knight e2. I think bishop d3 is the main move. Okay. I played a3, which is very unusual. Okay, they have to take it, and they play c5. My mom's calling me, man. All right. Probably calling to yell at me. Okay.
Oh.
Now, this is sort of complicated, and I knew the ins and outs, and she doesn't know the ins and outs because I've never played this before. The idea is, if you play f3, it looks like the knight's trapped because the knight's trapped. But you play queen h4 check, and you can take this, and if queen f2, knight f5 defends the queen. Okay. So I play the move bishop to b2 after c5. Okay? And then it looks like bishop b2 is stupid because after takes, check, I have to move my king. Right? So if Danny Wrench was watching, he would, he'd eat a cigarette afterwards. Okay? The game with Magnus.
Oh, I don't know about that.
When I played Magnus had to move his king in the opening, and Danny went nuts saying that Magnus blundered and Ben's winning, and it's like theory, and I'm slightly worse. Okay. That's what happens when those people do commentary. Okay, now this is actually my prep, and this is already bad for black. Okay.
They did the emote. I love Danny
Right.
Lynch.
Yeah. Okay, so what black should do is play bishop d7 here or knight c6. That's beyond the scope of our lecture. Now I play king e2. And you're like, man, Ben, you suck. Your king's on e2. When she plays queen a5 check, she can't play queen h4 check, and that variation I showed you. So now white's threatening f3, and you win a piece. You can't save your knight. Your knight's trapped.
Right.
Well, you can't lose a piece. It's chess. You can't lose a piece. So queen f5 check's bad. So now she's like, this wins a piece. What do I do about that? 300 centidues. Thank you. Okay, so watch what she does. She plays f5. This gives her an escape square. So she escaped. Okay, and now her game is very bad. I play king f2. And I have more space and the two bishops, and she can't do anything. The knight can't move. The bishop is terrible. I have a big center. My king's perfectly safe here. And already the engine would say, white has big advantage here. Right? See? Okay. I'll get rid of the engine. She played knight c6. We're developing our pieces. But I have the two bishops and better center. Okay, so after rook b1, she thought like at least 45 minutes here. At least. And she took on d4. I mean, when she played queen b6, she didn't play queen b6 to not take on d4. And I was like, take on d4. I dare you. I double dare you. And the engine says if she doesn't take on d4, she's strategically lost, like queen c7. I just continue development, and she has an isolated pawn. I have two bishops. I have a passed pawn. My knight's coming in f4. I have the open file, and that would lose a tempo. So it's stupid to play here, and then after here go, all right, never mind. Like, you got to take on d4 and show that you were right. And taking on d4 is the best move. It's still bad for her, but... Okay, and I take her queen, and she takes my queen, and I take on b7, threatening her bishop. I want to play like knight here, knight takes pawn. If this gets open, I can play e6 and get her here. And I have the two bishops, and she has all these weak pawns. Okay, she played rook fc8. The engine prefers rook ac8, but okay, whatever. I take a free bishop. She takes my free bishop, and I play e6. That's a strong pawn. Okay, and now it says she's lost. She plays knight e5. I take a pawn. So I'm a pawn up, and I have this passed pawn. She saves her knight. I save my pawn because she's threatening my pawn. Now I have bishop b5 to get a tempo later. Okay. And then she prematurely resigned when I played the move bishop to d3. Now she is lost. Okay, there's no question she's losing. I'm up a pawn. It's this passed pawn, and she has no counterplay. But actually, there's a funny trick in this position that I probably didn't see. That would be my guess. Yeah. So, for example, let's say she plays some random move like king here, like stopping my pawn. Okay. If I play rook here, which looks completely winning, and the move's okay. You see, I'm threatening to take the knight, and the knights are defending each other. But now my rook is here, so the knight here forks my king and rook. So she can take this. That's a very funny way to escape. If I take the rook, then she forks my king and rook. Right? So I'm supposed to do this now, and I'm still winning, still +3. Okay. So after bishop g3, she resigned, because my rook's coming out, and her knights can't move, because I take the other one if the knight moves. And I have this extra passed pawn, my knight's great, and it says I'm +3 something, so she resigned. But a little premature resignation, I think. Slightly premature. Pretty, but when I got her in the openings after king e2, she started thinking a long time, like, yeah, where's my knight go? I actually played that line against Fabi in the Pro Chess League 2 or 3 years ago, and I lost in like 40 moves. Terrible. He played the good line, not the bad line. All right, let's see how I played. So far, the last 2 days I've been playing in the high 90s. So this could be the game where I really messed up.
I doubt it. Is Ben going to be playing chess later today?
I hope not.
I don't think during this stream, but he does play.
100 centidues, GM, no chance ever. 300, no.
Oh yeah, stuff happened.
Yeah, I played 97.6, and she played 96.9.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but I got all these zeros here, right? Yeah. Played the same number of best moves. I played more excellent moves. She had more inaccuracies and mistakes. That's a pretty high number for 2 mistakes and 2 inaccuracies, 96.9. She played 96.9, I played 97.6. Although, I don't know, I mean, if she made 2 inaccuracies and 2 mistakes and I made 0, I should be more than 0.7 more. Rawr, I'm mad at chess.com. Yeah.
Hey, 2 bishops, what else?
All right, that's all I have for you. So you should go set up to stream, and then I can raid you.
Yeah, I have to decide if I'm gonna stream.
You should stream. Yeah.
What?
You stream for an hour.
I could stream for an hour.
Yeah. It'll take you like 10 minutes to get set up, and I can BS them for 10 minutes and then raid you.
So if I stream, what am I can play some games.
Yeah, play some 3-minute, 5-minute.
Can you come in a lot?
Yeah, I'll come in. I'll talk to my mom, and I'll come in.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll do that. I guess I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, give me like 5 minutes or
Yeah,
so.
I'll hear you streaming, and then I'll get off and raid you.
All right. Okay. I'll do
Don't
that.
forget to plug in and plug in your computer. Your mouse is here.
I have to decide if I'm gonna go karaoke here. It's so early.
It's really early, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't go.
Isn't karaoke like at 9?
I don't even know.
It's either 9 or 10.
They've changed the hour.
Nobody's gonna show up at 8.
Let me ask Spencer real quick.
Yeah, but start streaming while you're doing that.
I am.
Yeah, I gotta kill time here.
All right.
I have to give you 5 more minutes, like add 5 minutes, because you're doing stuff.
No, I'm gonna see.
Yeah.
I'll do the research while I'm.
My record is 3 blunders and 4 mistakes. I played 98%. Very suspicious. What's it like to know all those famous other chess players? I don't know. I guess it's okay. The problem is, after a while, it's not, like, if people are the top 10 in the world or world champions or former world champions, the first time you meet them and hang out with them, it's somewhat exciting. And then, after that, it's... I remember I was in St. Louis, and I had just had, like, a really good and a really bad thing happen in chess. I lost to a 1750 in a ladder game. It wasn't a tournament, but it was rated. And ladder games are just rated games you randomly play that aren't part of a tournament. But people just show up to your club and want to play a rated game, and there's a director there, and you play. And the games are rated. And in the many years I played ladder games in St. Louis, mainly against much, much lower rated players, I had some kind of record like 210 wins with no draws and no losses, and then I lost that one game. And I was like plus 1.5, and then I blundered a piece to some trick, and I lost like a 90 move endgame. And then the same time, within a week, was my game with Fidel Corrales Jimenez, which I've shown on the stream many times, and it was like my greatest game ever, maybe. Anyway, a few days after that happened, Kasparov was in the chess club in St. Louis, because he's visiting. And he was like, Ben, I saw your game, the game that I lost, because he was looking at it with Rex. And he had it with him, and he was like, yeah, you played here. We're talking about the game. And I said, this other game I just played? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Ridiculous. So the only game Kasparov has ever seen of mine in his life is a game I lost to 1700. And he was talking about it because he analyzed it with Rex. Ugh, horrible. Yeah, Master Troll. I don't know, 1700. I think his name was 1700. Yeah. Terrible. He was an employee at the chess club at the time. Yeah. What's funny is Julian Proleko, who occasionally is on the stream, he's like 2,300 USCF now. When he first came to the St. Louis club 10 years ago, he was 500, and he was 500 strength. He hung a piece every move. And I played him like between 50 and 60 ladder games over like 5 years. And one of them, he was completely winning, and he was like 900, maybe 800. And he was completely winning, but I won. And a lot of them, he would lose in the first 10 moves. He would hang a piece like on move 6 and resign. So, but yeah, I'm like 58-0 against him. And then since he's been like 1,800, 19, I don't think I've played him a slow rated game. We've played in, blitz tournaments and, at the St. Louis club, but not on a slow tournament. Yeah, exactly. Karen has her own stream. Victor Korchnoi story. I have a lot of Victor Korchnoi stories. I was supposed to play him a match, then he got sick. No, so I played Robson. Boo, boo. 100 Centidues. Is there a black gambit? I mean, you could play the Budapest. That's a gambit. Yeah. Has some tricks. Not too many. Some. Yeah, I mean, Julian went from 500 USCF to 2,300, and 500, that's how good he was. He wasn't too good. Then he got better. He played thousands and thousands of games at the club and online and got lessons and played rated games, and he got better. He's also very good at fencing. He was a fencer. Probably was better at fencing than chess. Probably better at chess now, but still very good. Also, I did some research on Video Game Pianist. If you go to his Wikipedia page, Video Game Pianist, he's very well educated at music. So probably he's like 2,600 at music. But obviously he's playing chess at the same time. But he's played all over the world, and he's gone to top music schools in the U.S. And somehow he's pretty good at chess. He seems like he's about 2,100 USCF. So, yeah. Yeah, I rate him sometimes. You found fencing offensive. Fencing offensive. I'm not sure if he's kidding. No, I don't mean like, stealing stuff and then selling it at the pawn shop. I mean, yeah. Have I played Sam Shankland? Many times, but not lately. Do I think Nepomniachtchi would be his toughest challenge? No, I mean, Magnus's toughest challenge is when Ding and Fabi play their best. That's his toughest challenge. If Nepomniachtchi plays his best, that's also difficult. But if Fabi plays his best all the time, which he doesn't, he can beat Magnus easily, as we saw in Tata Steel this year. He played pretty well in the last World Championship match, I thought. But yeah, I mean, Ding was like playing great for a long time, and then he sort of stopped. And Fabi goes in and out. Fabi plays like he's the best player in the world, and he's like, that's enough. So obviously Magnus is the most consistent at playing, top in the world, but yeah, exactly. Fabi is terrible at Blitz and Rapids. I wouldn't call him terrible. He's not very good online, I don't think. Yeah. And so on. All right, we got to raid Karen if we ever could. She's not streaming, but I'm still going to raid her. She might be streaming. Huh? Let's see. Voicemail, missed call. David Pacman retweeted. All right. If only his name was Ludek, he could be Pacman. Korchnoi could be my father's twin brother. What? Meatball plays like tall sometimes. Everybody plays like everybody. No. All right, thanks for watching. I'm going to raid Karen if she ever starts streaming, which, she won't. I waxed idiotic as long as I could. I can't do it anymore. Or could I? Let's see. Twitch. Recommended channels. Let's see. Raid Vampire Chicken? No. Yeah, Karen takes a long time to set up her stream. She wants to be, pretty like in West Side Story. Something like that. That was me. You didn't answer your phone, so I text you. What? None of that happened. Rating Svidler? I can't rate him because he's on the roof. He's doing Hearthstone, 123 viewers. Terrible. I've never seen Svidler stream, but it's probably interesting, I would guess. Could be interesting. Yeah. Peter is streaming. That's correct. A lot of people are streaming. But I'm definitely going to raid Karen. Go, Kamala. You can do it. Rain IYH subscribe. Good. Good. Thanks for subscribing. We've lost a lot of subs recently, but we're gonna get them back. We're gonna do it. We can do it, Otto. Help each other out. That'll be our motto. All right, I'll see you guys on Karen's stream in a few minutes. I'm gonna call my mom first. Bye.